fight isn't over. The fight is just beginning.
Alright, well, what's going on, guys? This is Carl with the Racerred channel. I am riding a 2019 KX450F, and it has a recluse clutch on it. It feels so weird compared to my KTM. So different. The brakes definitely work better, but that's not fair because the KTM's got screwed up brakes. That's one bad thing about my bike, is it's been worked on many times, and the front brake, after we bled it, it's not the same. So every time I get on somebody else's, front brake just seems amazing. I'll let the dust settle a little bit here and then give this thing a go and see how it handles. It's got an oversized fuel tank. It's got a bunch of extras on it. Wow, this thing revs out nice. Yeah, this thing feels tight. It's got a nice clean cockpit. You move around in it easy. Yeah, that feels nice at speed, especially. It feels a little soft compared to my 450 on bottom, but I think this thing revs out nicer. Definitely feels good. It feels softer right off idle than that, but it revs out so nice.
It's smooth, huh?
Yeah, and it's more like the updated feel in the front. Like the new KTM's feel like they're got like a steeper rake. It's more like
they geared them more from motocross to be tight turning.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it's quicker to handle and it revs out real nice. I noticed on some of those tougher hits there that the front end is a bit stiffer than my front end. Suspension I'm kind of undecided on. I don't really know if it feels better or worse than my bike, and that's usually what I judge things off of. Yeah, it's definitely got a different feel just off of this real hard edge stuff. I don't think it's quite as plush. It's more jagged. You get more of a jarring feel to it. However, when you're hitting stuff at high speed, I think that kind of goes away. It's handling all this stuff really well. It does. This is a nice handling bike. Revs out nicer than that bike, and it handles nicer, like from side to side.
It doesn't feel like a 450.
Yeah, it revs out quick. It's like quick handling, but right off of idle, when you snap it, the power isn't quite as good as that one.
Right, and this has got the green coupler in it right now, which is medium now.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a little plusher, whereas this is harder on the suspension.
Yeah.
Which does really good when you're at high speed on this thing. It feels nice.
As it go up, and then right at the end, I was like, oh crap.
Oh no, did you go down?
I didn't go down, just go back tire, just like I stalled. I was like,
oh. The recluse situation is definitely different Man, I can really see a need for it on these big 450s though. There's absolutely no flame out factor. I will say that this thing fires right up. It doesn't have any trouble starting. Now, granted, I always judge bikes based off of my bike, but let's remember that mine has a, wow, that was a jarring front end. Let's remember that my poor KTM has had a rough life. It's been rebuilt twice in a row. Had a really, really rough racing season the year before last. Barely kept it running all racing season. So, it's just nice to remember those things when you're judging the old KTM. But yeah, this bike definitely starts easier. Fires right up. And like I said, the cockpit on this thing feels tighter, and it feels really light because of that. Feels like the rake angle is different. Yeah, so I'm not really sure you can judge this, a stock KX450 based off of this bike, because this bike is completely modified and the suspension's been revalved and it's got an oversized fuel tank on it, different levers. It's got a lot of things that are different on it than a stock KX450, some of which probably make it feel worse, which would be the oversized tank. I would assume would be a little tiny bit worse. You got a recluse on this bike, which completely changes how it feels, and I think that's for the better. In fact, dude, I don't know. I mean, the more I hear about recluse, the more I want one on the 450, on my 450, just because it would help so much on the flame out. And it still allows you, like, I'm still feeding the bike as much throttle as I want it to have right now. Although there's certainly a difference between this, and I'm kind of curious on downhills how it'll do it. This is a really nice 450. That's my conclusion. If you like 450s, you'll like this bike. You can set up the suspension how you want. I think it's not something I'm a big fan of based off of what I feel right now, but that's just because it's been revalved to be stiffer. Power wise, I really like this thing, and the stance on it I can really get used to. It just makes the bike feel so much lighter. I know I didn't say a ton about it. This is just a first impressions ride. It's not a full review. My front brake sucks compared to yours.
That thing's really grabby.
Yeah, but this one, we bled it and it hasn't been the same since.
So good so far?
Guys, I just wanted to thank my Patreon supporters. That would be Lance Darnell, Jim Jolson Jr., Kurt Kinghorn, Daniel Roush, Brian Thomason, Wade James, Moto Creek, Nathan Young, Jason Froling. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you.